Ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for comforting lies about money, quick riches, secret formulas, or effortless success, then Charlie Munger is the wrong teacher. The first brutal truth Charlie Munger emphasized is that real wealth is built slowly, not quickly, and this idea runs directly against what most people want to believe. In a world dominated by instant gratification viral success stories and overnight millionaires, patience feels outdated. Yet Munger consistently argued that the most powerful force in finance is compounding over long periods of time. Compounding does not reward excitement or constant action. It rewards endurance, discipline, and the ability to wait while results quietly build beneath the surface. Most people underestimate how long meaningful financial progress actually takes. They expect visible results within months or a few years, and when those results don't appear, they abandon sound strategies in favor of riskier ones. Munger believed this impatience was the root cause of financial failure. And wealth, he argued, is not created by constantly jumping in and out of opportunities, but by owning good assets and allowing time to do the heavy lifting. The problem is that time does not feel productive. Waiting feels like doing nothing, even when it is the smartest move. Compounding works in a nonlinear way, which makes it psychologically difficult to appreciate. Early progress looks insignificant, almost disappointing. The dramatic results arrive much later. After years of steady, uneventful growth, this is why so many people give up just before the most powerful phase begins. Munger often pointed out that the big money is not made through frequent buying and selling, but through holding high-quality businesses and letting them grow. The challenge is not intelligence, it is temperament. Another uncomfortable reality is that trying to get rich quickly often leads people to take risks that permanently damage their financial future. Speculation and excessive leverage and chasing trends may produce short-term wins, but they also increase the likelihood of catastrophic losses. Munger believed that avoiding ruin was more important than maximizing short-term returns. Slow, steady progress may seem boring, but boredom is often a sign that a strategy is working. Ultimately, Munger's message is that time is not an obstacle to wealth, it is the essential ingredient. Those who accept this truth gain a tremendous advantage over those who are constantly rushing. By aligning expectations with reality, embracing patience, and trusting the power of compounding, individuals position themselves not for dramatic success, but for lasting success, and that distinction makes all the difference. The second brutal truth Charlie Munger repeatedly emphasized is that psychology matters more than intelligence when it comes to money. Many people assume that financial success is primarily about being smart, analytical, or well-educated. Munger strongly disagreed. He believed that even the most intelligent people routinely make disastrous financial decisions because they fail to understand how their own minds work. Money amplifies human emotion, and when fear, greed, and ego take control, rational thinking quickly disappears. Munger argued that humans are not naturally wired to make good financial decisions. We are influenced by cognitive biases that distort reality without us realizing it. Incentives, in particular, play a powerful role in shaping behavior. As Munger famously said, "Show me the incentive and I'll show you the outcome." People often convince themselves they are acting logically when in fact they are simply responding to rewards, social pressure, or the desire to feel important. This leads to overconfidence, excessive risk-taking, and the tendency to ignore information that contradicts existing beliefs. Another major psychological trap is the emotional reaction to market fluctuations. When prices rise, people feel smarter and more confident, often mistaking luck for skill. When prices fall, fear takes over, leading to panic selling and poor timing. Munger believed that the market's greatest function is to test emotional discipline, not intellectual ability. The person who can remain calm while others are euphoric or terrified holds a massive advantage. Munger also warned against the illusion of control. Many investors believe they can predict short-term outcomes or outsmart complex systems. This belief feeds constant activity, trading, tweaking, reacting, none of which necessarily improves results. In reality, most financial success comes from recognizing the limits of one's knowledge and staying within areas of genuine understanding. Humility, not brilliance, protects people from their worst mistakes. Ultimately, Munger's insight is deeply uncomfortable if your financial results are poor. The cause is often internal rather than external. Markets, governments, or bad luck are easy scapegoats, but they distract from the real issue, behavior. until individuals learn to manage their emotions, recognize their biases, and resist psychological traps. No amount of intelligence or information will lead to consistent success. Mastering money, in Munger's view, begins with mastering the mind. The third brutal truth Charlie Munger emphasized is that avoiding stupidity is far more important than chasing brilliance. Most people believe success comes from making extraordinary moves, finding the perfect investment, predicting the next big trend, or outsmarting everyone else. Munger rejected this idea entirely. He argued that long-term success is usually the result of consistently avoiding obvious mistakes, rather than occasionally making brilliant decisions. This mindset shifts the focus from trying to be exceptional to trying to be sensible. Munger observed that many financial disasters are completely avoidable. Excessive debt, speculative behavior, blind trust in forecasts, and following the crowd during moments of excitement are not complex errors, they are simple, human ones. Yet these mistakes destroy more wealth than bad luck ever could. Munger believed that once someone makes a truly catastrophic error, such as taking on leverage they cannot survive or investing in something they do not understand, the game may be over. No amount of intelligence can recover from permanent loss. One of his core principles was to stay within one's circle of competence. Munger did not believe in having opinions on everything. He believed in knowing what you understand well and having the discipline to ignore everything else. This requires humility because it means admitting that many opportunities are outside your grasp. However, this humility acts as a powerful filter, preventing people from being drawn into situations where they are most likely to fail. Munger also warned against complexity for its own sake. Complex financial products, elaborate strategies, and excessive diversification often create the illusion of sophistication while increasing the likelihood of mistakes. Simpler approaches, and clearly understood and carefully executed, tend to outperform over time because they leave less room for error. Avoiding stupidity often looks like doing less, not more. At the heart of this philosophy is risk management. Munger believed the first rule of success is survival. If you avoid decisions that can permanently damage you, time and compounding will do the rest. This approach may not produce exciting stories or rapid gains, but it dramatically increases the odds of long-term success. By focusing on not being foolish rather than trying to be clever, people quietly place themselves ahead of the majority who sabotage their own outcomes through avoidable mistakes. The fourth brutal truth Charlie Munger emphasized is that discipline and character, not passion or excitement, ultimately determine financial outcomes. Modern culture often celebrates enthusiasm, boldness, and relentless ambition, especially when it comes to money. Munger viewed this mindset with skepticism. He believed that passion without discipline is dangerous because it encourages emotional decision-making rather than rational behavior. In the world of money, emotions are rarely helpful guides. Munger argued that discipline shows up in small, unglamorous habits repeated over long periods of time. Living below one's means, resisting lifestyle inflation, reinvesting instead of spending, and saying no to unnecessary risks are not exciting actions, but they are powerful. Many people fail financially not because they lack opportunity, but because they lack the self-control to manage success when it arrives. As income rises, and spending often rises even faster, leaving people no better off than before. Discipline prevents this trap. Character, in Munger's view, is inseparable from long-term success. He believed that honesty, reliability, and integrity are practical advantages, not just moral virtues. People with strong character build trust, attract better opportunities, and avoid the legal and reputational disasters that destroy wealth. Cutting corners, bending rules, or chasing short-term gains at the expense of ethics may appear profitable in the moment, but these behaviors often carry hidden costs that compound negatively over time. Munger also emphasized delayed gratification as a defining trait of successful individuals. The ability to forego immediate pleasure in exchange for long-term benefit separates those who build wealth from those who consume it. This applies not only to spending, but also to decision-making. Waiting for the right opportunity rather than forcing action out of impatience or boredom requires emotional restraint. Discipline allows people to remain inactive when inaction is the correct choice. Finally, Munger believed that money does not transform people, it reveals them. When wealth magnifies existing habits, values, and flaws, someone who is careless, impulsive, or dishonest without money is unlikely to become wise or ethical with it. This is why Munger placed such importance on character before results. In his view, A disciplined life built on sound principles leads not only to better financial outcomes, but to a better life overall.